The Xirathi Dominion had ruled half the galaxy for millennia. Their fleets were vast, their weapons unmatched, their technology centuries ahead of anyone who dared oppose them. To the Xirathi, power was measured in the number of stars you owned, the strength of your dreadnoughts, the reach of your armies. When the Dominion's explorers first encountered Earth, they dismissed humanity as another primitive species. Small world, scarce resources, weak biology, nothing remarkable. At most, humans could serve as laborers or perhaps soldiers for hire in border skirmishes. But then, humanity fought back. Admiral Xirathi of the Xirathi still remembered the first clash vividly. His fleet of 80 ships had entered Sol system expecting easy conquest. They met only a handful of human warships, old and crude by Dominion standards. Xirathi thought the battle would be over in minutes. Instead, those few vessels fought like cornered predators, maneuvering in ways the Dominion had never anticipated, sacrificing themselves to cripple ships many times their size. It wasn't the humans' weapons that shocked him. It was their will. When the Dominion finally overwhelmed Earth's defenses, they discovered cities still burning, not from orbital bombardments, but from human demolition charges. Entire populations had refused to surrender, choosing instead to deny the invaders everything. For the first time in centuries, the Dominion felt unease. Humanity's resistance spread like wildfire. They had no empire, no united government spanning galaxies, but they had something far more dangerous: adaptability. Humans learned the Dominion's tactics after one battle and countered them in the next. Their crude warships were retrofitted with scavenged alien technology, often in ways the Dominion's own engineers swore were impossible. And humans never fought alone. Wherever they went, they made allies. Species long oppressed by the Dominion suddenly found hope in humanity's defiance. "If these fragile creatures from a single blue world can resist," they said, "so can we." Within decades, what should have been a swift conquest turned into a grinding war across dozens of sectors. Admiral Xirathi watched his empire bleed. He had underestimated humans at every turn. They fought with fury, but not recklessness. They fought with intelligence, but not arrogance. He began to see the truth. The humans did not measure power in fleets or weapons. Their power came from within. The final revelation came at the siege of Raglar Prime. The Dominion assembled the largest fleet in recorded history, 300 warships, enough to crush any resistance once and for all. Humanity, along with their new allies, brought only a fraction of that number. The Dominion's strategy was simple: overwhelm the humans through sheer force. Yet as the battle unfolded, Xirathi realized too late what he was witnessing. The humans didn't fight to preserve themselves. They fought to protect each other. Their fleets moved not as individual ships, but as extensions of one another, covering weak points, drawing enemy fire so another could strike. Dominion captains fought for rank, for glory, for the Dominion's pride. Humans fought for the person beside them, for family, for children, for a future they refused to surrender. The difference was devastating. The Dominion fleet, despite its size, fractured under the weight of human determination. Even as ships were torn apart, human voices rang across comm channels, not orders, not panic, but words of encouragement, promises, laughter in the face of death. To the Dominion, such behavior seemed illogical. To humanity, it was their greatest weapon. By the end of the battle, Raglar Prime burned. But it was the Dominion fleet that retreated in shame, leaving behind wreckage and silence. Humanity stood battered but unbroken, their resolve carved into the very stars. Years later, when historians of a dozen freed worlds wrote of the war, they recorded a single lesson. Power is not the size of your armies, nor the reach of your empire. Power is the courage to endure when defeat seems certain. Power is the willingness to sacrifice for something greater than yourself. The Xirathi Dominion had believed themselves gods. But gods could fall. Humanity had shown them that true power was something else entirely. Admiral Xirath, stripped of rank and exiled, often thought back to that first battle over Sol. He remembered the moment one human warship, crippled and burning, rammed itself into a Dominion cruiser, taking both to their graves. At the time, he had called it madness. Now he understood. It wasn't madness. It was humanity. And that was the one power the Dominion had never known.